When it comes to losing weight, I've done it all. As my son likes to call me, he calls me a weight loss nerd. I've done keto, I've done regular looking calorie diet, I've done fasting, time restricted eating. Heck, back in the day, I even tried the cabbage soup diet and the cayenne pepper lemon diet that Beyonce made popular long time ago. But in today's video, I'm gonna go over the best and worst diets I use to lose over 110 pounds. And I am ranking these diets based on the results I get on the scale. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Daniella Joy and I've lost 113 pounds on my weight loss journey. I made this transformation after going through a lot on my journey. Been dealing with a lot of chronic pain, been dealing with a lot of injuries, but I never used my injuries and my pain as an excuse to not lose weight. In fact, I had to lose weight because of it. I had to create light within the darkness, and that is my attitude. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, make good out of the bad, and overcome and surprise yourself. It's the best feeling that one can do. I've lost the majority of my weight eating one meal a day, and you may think that one meal a day might be the number one diet that I'm going to choose out of all the diets that I've done, but it may surprise you that it may not be number one. But make sure you hang tight until the end of the video to figure out what is the best diet. I am gonna go through 6 diets I've done, and I'm gonna talk about what diet produced the most weight loss results. What diet produced the weight loss results consistently. So if you're interested in learning about how to lose weight, whether it be through unorthodox ways like extreme forms of intermittent fasting like one meal a day, whether it be through keto or extended fasting, or the regular calorie counting looking way, make sure you smash that like button and come join the fam. Okay, let's jump into it. I've got my list right here. So we're gonna start with the 3 worst diets. And we are gonna go from worst to best, the best of the worst. So let's start off with number 3, which is a regular looking weight loss diet. So a regular looking weight loss diet is what the typical person would do to go on and lose weight. Basically, you go on the internet, go to the BMR calculators, whatever BMR calculator you wanna do, or whatever weight loss calculator you see on Google, enter in your details, you know, your activity, your level, your height, your gender, your age, and the whole 9 yards, and then follow the calorie count and just literally eat less of what you're already eating. I've done that method. It works when you first start off, but eventually you hit a wall and you're gonna have to change things up. It's not something that will be sustainable in the long term because that number is a guess. It is not a concrete number. The only way you're gonna know what calories it takes for you to lose weight is through scale feedback. It is the best way to do it. Basically, pick a calorie number. I highly recommend that. I like to start low. People might not think, people do it a different way, but that's the way I've lost my weight. I started off at 1,200 calories, and I tracked my weight from week to week and I saw what the scale did. If the scale was losing weight too quickly, more than 3 or 4 pounds a week, I would increase it by 100 calories. Or if I'm feeling comfortable, I would just leave it as is, depending on where I'm at in my journey. So that's the best way to understand. Women start off at 1,200, men start off at 1,800. And if you can lose weight on more calories, why not lose weight on more calories? It's better to do so. All right, number 2, the high protein, 150 gram of carb, regular looking low fat diet. So it's basically a high protein diet, a gram of protein per body weight. That's what I would do. Or for those of you who are morbidly obese, you would just do your height in centimeters, or if you know your lean body mass, do that, a gram per lean body mass. And I would do that diet. Now that diet got more results because A, it was more adherable, B, you are more satiated with the protein, and C, your carbs are lower. It seems to be a theme in all of this is to reduce your carbs. The lower you reduce your carbs, I feel like it helps more on the weight loss level. But at the end of the day, calories is king when it comes to it. However, there are certain things that can help boost the whole calorie thing, and I'll get into that later on. And number one, I guess I would say. I don't know if I called the last one or two, but this is number one, the best of the worst. And this is high protein keto. Now, high protein keto isn't exactly keto. It's not keto because the definition of a true ketogenic diet is to have your fat at 80% of your overall calories and your protein at 20% and your carbs non-existent. High protein keto is what I thought keto was, which is basically what everyone thinks keto is, which is just reducing your carbs to 50 grams of carbs, net carbs or less per day. That's what people think keto is. But no, keto is a little more. You gotta have your protein at 20%. You're eating anywhere between 60 to 80 grams of protein per day for women, but the rule of thumb with real keto is to not go over 100 grams of protein. But I digress. High protein keto is essentially a pretty much a low carb diet. Why is high protein keto not keto? Because when you have excess protein, what happens is your body goes through gluconeogenesis, which is a pathway that your body turns protein into glucose. See, our body's smart. So then you're not in ketosis. Plus, protein spikes your blood sugar levels. The blood sugar level hierarchy is number one, carbohydrates, spikes your blood sugar the most. Number two is protein. And number three, fat. Fats don't really spike your blood sugar. And the definition of being in a ketogenic diet is that it's a low blood sugar diet. So that's something I learned on my journey. But with that being said, if your goal is not to get the benefits of ketosis, but you just want to look for weight loss, high protein keto is very effective because it reduces those carbs pretty low. I actually did high protein keto when I started off at 282 pounds to get down to 220 pounds. And high protein keto was successful. I counted my calories through it. Of course, everything I do, I always count my calories. I was eating anywhere between 1,200 to 1,400 calories, sometimes 1,600 calories. And my carbs were no more than 30 grams of carbs on the day. Rarely you would see me go in the 40s. But my carbs were always low, between 20 grams and 30 grams. I think putting your carbs down low when you are obese and overweight and you got weight to lose, it really does help speed up the weight loss, because I feel like your body is not depending on those carbs for fuel. Instead, it's going into its fat stores. Now we're gonna go to the top 3 diets I've done to help me lose weight. The top 3 weight loss diets. Number 3 is keto, real keto diet. Real keto diet is eating 80% fat, as I said before, 20% protein, and carbs are sparing. So when I say sparing carbs, I'm not eating more than 15 grams of net carbs on the day. My protein is like 60 to 80 grams, and my fat is whatever I want my calorie number to be. I eat more fat, then that gets my calorie number up. And when I was doing real keto, I was eating, again, around 1,200 to 1,400 calories. And yes, I was exercising during this. I was doing more of cardio-like exercises. And when I say cardio-like exercises, I mean strength training too, where you do high reps, low weight, kind of like you move the weight around where you feel a bit of a pump, kind of easy weightlifting, because I wanted to preserve the muscle. I still wanted to stimulate my muscles, but I didn't want to stimulate to the point where my body would demand more calories. So yes, that is number 3, the best of the, or the worst of the best, but it's a good diet. These next diets are the diets I highly recommend if you want to really get that ball moving. So number 1 is real keto. Number 2, this may surprise you guys because you guys know I am the queen of this diet, is OMAD. Yes, OMAD is the second best diet to lose weight, and here's why. And when I say OMAD, I mean real OMAD. I mean 1 meal a day, which is what I started off last year when I ballooned up to 229 pounds after I got into a car accident. Couldn't move, couldn't exercise, couldn't do anything. So I tried fasting, didn't work, getting headaches, I was all messed up. So I did 1 meal a day. It was like the happy medium between fasting and eating. So 1 meal a day had a lot of success on my journey, and I actually did 1 meal a day. I had days where my calories were to between 800 to 1,000 calories, and I was doing keto 1 meal a day. I must mention keto OMAD, that was key. Now with that being said, I did real 1 meal a day, so actually eating 1 meal a day, probably 6 times out of the month. However, the reason why this is diet number 2, because those of us who struggle with obesity, those of us who've been obese, those who struggle with binge eating, or who have dealt with, emotional eating, we turn to food for comfort. And we chase that feeling of being full, And in order to lose weight and keep it off, you need to be adapted to eating light. Those that can eat light or sustain, off a little bit of calories, like right now, it's like 3:00 p.m. I'm on 500 calories right now. I'm good. 500 calories, I'm good. But those people that can lean off of light amount of calories and portion size and portion control are the ones who are going to be able to keep weight off. OMAD, when you stuff all your calories within an hour to a half an hour eating window, that is real OMAD. Definition of real OMAD is eating in a 30-minute to an hour eating window and fasting 22 to 23 hours a day or more. As long as you're eating once a day, that is real OMAD. And the reason why I don't like it for the long term, it will get you results, is that it's not teaching you portion control. And that is the biggest struggle that those of us have who struggle with overeating. It's the portion control. So I actually lost the majority of my weight with this diet. And I'm going to change the name of it, even though I also called it 24 or more. This is the number 1 diet for weight loss, I think, is the OMAD FAST diet, also known as time-restricted eating. Time-restricted eating, where you are fasting for 20 hours a day. I love that 20 hours a day number because you're in ketosis, you are getting some solid autophagy, and there is a short eating window to a point where you're not forced to eat all your calories at once, but you can kind of eat like 300 calorie meals over a span of 3 to 4 hours. That is how I lost the majority of my weight while eating 1 meal a day or 1 meal a day fasting. Guys, it's the identity of 1 meal a day. I call it that because if you look at other 1 meal a day fasters, they considered OMAD 20 hours of fasting or more. If you go on Google, look it up, they say that's OMAD as well. I like to differentiate between the two, the actual OMAD, which is eating within 30 minutes or less. Anyway, I digress. What I like about 24 or more is that it gives you a 4-hour eating window. So you're forced to eat small meals at a time. And the beauty of it is that you're getting 20 hours of fasting during the day. So you are forced to deal with your emotions in other ways. You are forced to keep yourself busy. You are not forced to turning for food for comfort. You have to deal with your struggles in a more healthier manner. And just that intermittent fasting length is like perfect. It's like the perfect amount of fasting, 20, 21. Around there, 22. As long as your eating window's wide enough where you can get in more little snacks, I like to call it, you can call it snack stacking. I think it's the best way because it trains you for delayed gratification through the fasting. You get the benefits of the fasting. And B, you can throw in a workout in that 4-hour eating window as well. So you can, maybe eat a meal before you go to the gym, then eat the rest of your calories within reason. That's a great way to do it. That's what I love about it. It gives you enough energy to go to the gym and it teaches you portion control. Now let's talk about some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions when it comes to the best and worst diets for weight loss that I've tried is the Common Sense diet. That's basically the first diet I've ever did when I was 282 pounds, and that diet is common sense. Eliminating all processed food, eliminating all crap, all junk food, and eating quote-unquote healthy foods. Eating more salads, eating more vegetables. I love that diet. Another honorable mention is fasting. Prolonged fasting, whether it be fasting for 24 hours or more, 3-day water fast, which I've done on this channel, dry fasting. These are good tools because it allows you to make the metabolic switch, which I totally forgot to talk about. The metabolic switch is when you become a fat burner. So your body is in fat burning mode. What is fat burning mode? Basically, your fat cells are shrinking. They're not so floofy and puffy. And your fat cells shrink. When they shrink, you lose weight and you lose body fat. And What I love about fasting and keto is that it puts you into that metabolic switching mode. And I lost the majority of my weight doing keto OMAD because it's easy. Guys, don't get it twisted. People are like, oh, what? That's hard. Good for you. How did you do that? Keto OMAD is actually very easy because when you're overweight and you have excess fat on your body and you go into ketosis, your body pretty much relies on its fat stores for energy. The process of creating ketones is a process of shrinking the fat cells down through the metabolic fat process of getting energy called cellular respiration. Literally, your body goes into another area where it takes acetyl A and it uses it as a precursor to get ketones. And ketones are good in that it also helps crush your hunger hormones. It's just a powerful way to lose weight. And Dr. Mindy Pelz talks about it. Honestly, you got to be able to make the switch. Being able to switch in and out of these fat burning modes gives you tremendous power. So that's my little best and worst weight loss diet list. I hope you liked it. I honestly think doing one of the latter 3 weight loss diets I mentioned, keto, real keto, high protein keto or high protein keto will get you there. It's a good tool as well because you're crushing those carbs. But I really love classic keto. I really love 1 meal a day, fasting for 20 hours, eating within a 4-hour eating window. I really love that. Time restricted eating on that sense. And OMAD is useful when you want to do a cheat day, or if you are at the beginning of your weight loss journey and you really have a lot of excess weight to lose. 1 meal a day is great for that, in that you don't really get hungry, because when you make that metabolic switch and you're obese, you really lose the hunger if you are doing the switch correctly. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far into the video, just drop in scale emoji since we're talking about weight loss. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Man, this was a long one, 19 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.